Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today you are going to learn lesson number 3. First of all, we will learn some rules. Lesson number 3, harakat. Rule number 1. The plural of harakah is harakat. Zabar, Zair and Pesh are called harakat. Zabar and Pesh are placed above the letter, whereas Zair is placed underneath. Please open the next page. Look at the first line, first letter. You can see a sign on top of alif. This sign is Zabar. Look at the second box. You can see a sign below alif. This sign is Zair. Look at the third box. You can see a sign on top of alif. This sign is Pesh. All these signs, Zabar, Zair and Pesh, are called harakat. Next rule. The letter which has a haraka on it is called mutaharrik. That means any letter, whether it is alif, it is ba, it is jim, it is dal, any letter that has zabar, zair or pesh on it is called mutaharrik. For example, if the letter ba has zabar on it, so the letter ba is mutaharrik. If the letter jim has pesh on it, so jim is mutaharrik. And let's see the examples. Open the next page. Look at the second line, for example, first box. You can see the letter ta has zabar on it. So ta is mutaharrik. Look at the last box in second line, in line 2. You can see the letter tha has pesh on it. So tha is mutaharrik. So any letter that has zabar, zair or pesh on it is called mutaharrik. Next rule. Pronounce the zabar by opening the mouth and raising the voice, zair by dropping the voice, and pesh by the rounding of the lips. That means when you pronounce zabar, you have to open your mouth and you have to raise your voice. And when you pronounce zair, you have to drop the voice. And when you pronounce pesh, you have to round your lips. Next rule. Pronounce the harakat in an Arabic accent without stretching or suddenly pausing the voice. That means when you pronounce harakat, when you pronounce zabar, zair or pesh, do not stretch or do not make a sudden pause. Always pronounce harakat without stretching and without suddenly pausing the voice. For example, ba, bi, bu. If you say ba, bi, bu, that is wrong, that is not correct. And if you read like ba, bi, bu with sudden pause, it is also wrong, it's not correct. So you have to read without stretching and without suddenly pausing the voice. Next rule. If a haraka or sukoon is present on an alif, then pronounce it as hamza. Look at the first box in line 1. You can see alif has zabar on it. So you have to pronounce it as hamza. Do not say that alif zabar a. Instead, you have to read hamza zabar a. In the same way, look at the second box. alif has zair below it, so you have to pronounce it as hamza, hamza zair e. Do not say alif zair e. And in the same way, in box number 3, hamza pesh u. So whenever the letter alif has zabar, zair or pesh on it, pronounce it as hamza. Hamza zabar a, hamza zair e, hamza pesh u, like that. Next rule. If the letter ra has a zabar or pesh on it, pronounce it with a thick tone. If the letter ra has a zair below it, pronounce it with a thin tone. So when you see the letter ra has zabar on it or ra has pesh on it, you have to pronounce with thick tone, thicker voice. And when you see the letter ra has zair below it, then pronounce it with thin voice, thin tone. Let's start from line 1. I teach you line 1 and 2, and you can read rest of the lines by yourself. Let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Hamza zabar a, hamza zair e, hamza pesh u. A, e, u. Ba zabar ba, ba zair bi, ba pesh bu. Ba, bi, bu. Ta zabar ta, ta zair ti, ta pesh tu. Ta, ti, tu. Tha zabar tha, tha zair si, tha pesh thu. Tha, thi, thu. You have to read all of the lines in this lesson in the same way as I just taught you line 1 and line 2. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad.